today's video, we're going to be talking about the TPT town hall meeting that took place almost 2 weeks ago. I'm a little bit late, but I was asked if I would be willing to share my thoughts and some of the things that were said, and I thought, yeah. Last year to this year has been tumultuous for some TPT sellers. There were a lot of changes made to the search, to the algorithm. There were ads, there were all sorts of things. And then back in the spring, TPT was acquired by the website IXL, which is a homeschool learning website. And the CEO was replaced by Paul Mishkin, who is the CEO of IXL. And the person who started TPT's name is also Paul, so that's why he's sometimes referred to as the new Paul. Anyways, Paul Mishkin is his name, and he spoke for over half of the meeting. The meetings are not usually very long. They go anywhere from 20, 30, 40 minutes. So it's worth watching. I will try to put a link down below for you. But he started off with talking about the ed tech environment. And many marketplaces were greatly affected by the pandemic we're just kind of unofficially over with. It's still there. You can still get COVID. One of my parents just recently had COVID. So it's not going away. But what happened to TPT and to other marketplaces, that surge of earning a revenue and sales and all that sort of stuff is somewhat died down now. And one of the things that he talked about was that TPT is now back to normal. And what he means by normal is 2019, because the spring of 2020 is when all of this happened. And last year, just in comparison, TPT was down in the double digits. And I'll talk about in just a minute what they were down this year, but it's not the double digits anymore. So they're actually had increases. Okay, but let me get to that in a moment. So one of the things that he talked about was that TPT is up 27% this fall, so August to now, in comparison to the fall of 2019. He talked about the top 1,000 sellers. Now, I have actually gone on to the TPT seller forum saying, I'd like to know who they are. We may say TPT is a community, and it is, but it's also a competition. And though I personally have no aspirations of being in that top 1,000, I don't plan to have thousands and thousands of products. Nonetheless, I would like to know who they are. And so I'm hoping, Paul, if you see this, I would like to see that. Actually, it would be nice to have a little star or something in your at your store that says top 1,000. He talked about the top 1,000, and they looked at their sales. So the lifetime top 1,000s, and their sales were up 17% from the fall of 2019. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that there's still room for new sellers, and case in point, the current top 1,000 sellers, which again he talked about, there are many brand new sellers in there, like since the pandemic. And I think I might know a couple actually. This is telling us that there is still room to grow on TPT and make a difference. You can make a lot of money if you want to. It's there. The potential is there. Just got to be strategic, right? We'll talk about that another time. The message that he had for established sellers is that competition is always increasing, and you need to ask yourself, how well have your resources kept up with changing needs and with competition? You know, I don't know how many products TPT had in the fall of 2019, but they are now over 8 million. That's a lot of products, but there's still room to make money. Paul also gave the comparison of IXL and saying that even within IXL, which is a marketplace where teachers don't sell resources, they offer parents, particularly homeschool families, the opportunity to have the kids learn and practice skills and things like that. He says 50% of their products are brand new. So if you are an established seller wondering why your resources aren't selling, you need to ask yourself, are they updated? Are they keeping up with innovation and all the other things that are happening in education? So are your products evolving? Are they keeping pace? People are sometimes asking for more than just worksheets now. So what are you doing in your store? I mean, I'm asking these same questions too. Also, one of the things he talked about is there is this pent-up demand. So say you have a brand new product, it's unique, and suddenly you get this like boatload of sales, and then all of a sudden it stops. Well, it stops because those people that were waiting for a product like this to have happen have now bought it. So again, it's what can you do with that now that it took off and now it's maybe plateauing. What do you do with that product to keep it going again? This is something I've been thinking about. Is some people call TPT a passive income, and it might be, but I don't think so much that it is. I haven't thought this fully through, but one of the things that I'm thinking about is that TPT, again, if they want to be a progressive leading marketplace, they got to come up with the things that people want, the things that people need. And that sometimes changes, that evolves. And so if your products aren't evolving, if you decided I'm just going to upload 100 products and then leave them and expect sales, you might get sales. Of course you might get sales, right? I didn't touch my store for almost 10 months. I got sales. In fact, some months I did better than the previous year, right? But I don't believe that if I left them another year, those sales would still be there. I'm not sure. Right? They were starting to go down at the end of, or in the spring, summer. So I think it's TPT, once you start a marketplace like this, or once you start selling products, I think it's something you're going to have to keep on, not necessarily every month, but it's something you're going to have to keep updating. Anyway, let's keep going. So one of the questions he asked is, how do you stay ahead of saturation points, right? So you have this product that takes off and you're getting daily sales. I've had this happen with one of my products. Absolutely daily sales. And sometimes, it's the only sale I get is this one product. And I get multiple sales every day. But now it's slowed down. And it's been going like this for over a year. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm past the saturation point. What do I do to bring new innovation to this product? Or how can I upgrade this product to keep it selling? Okay, that's one thing he brought up. He also mentioned that September sales, so September 2023, were down 8.5% from August 2023. But the previous year, which was double digits down, is only down, again, single digits. October was down 4.5%, and November so far, so the town hall meeting was about the 15th, they are down 4.3. Now, this sounds bad, but it's improvement over last year, and they want us to compare our sales to 2019, which for some of us, that's fine, but for me and probably many of you, we started our stores during the pandemic, and so we can't really compare our 2020 or 2021 sales to now, which is interesting. So I'm almost wondering whether we should be taking 2023 sales as the new benchmark. Again, something I'm thinking about. I got lots on my mind. Paul talked about TPT's goal is to attract more buyers and then meet as many of their needs as possible. What does this mean? So for TPT's end, they tweaked URLs, they worked on page speed, because if you're like me, if a page takes too long to load, you move on. They spent 9 times more on advertisement on Google than they ever have. And now they're finding that it is a bit of a plateau. So they're actually going to start looking at Bing, which is another search source. They're also looking at Pinterest and TikTok. And one of the things he mentioned about TikTok in particular, they're looking to see whose videos. So if you make a video lesson and upload it as a resource, they're looking to see who's got some video resources that they can use as advertisement for TPT. So keep an eye out for that one. They talked about a broad range of buyers now. There's a lot more homeschooling parents involved. In fact, they saw that there was a 17% increase in parents purchasing resources. That's good. So if that's the case, then we need to make sure that our resources are they're using user-friendly language. So we're getting away from those educational jargon words, right? The other thing that they started doing is that there is sometimes a frequently bought with pop-up that they will have. I don't know if it's a pop-up or it's just on the screen. And this only applies to about 12% of the resources, but this is something you might see, you definitely see it on Amazon and maybe even some other marketplaces. They're noticing that people that see those are actually, in fact, buying. They said that there's a 2% increase. So it's not significant, but it's enough for them to think about, how can we maybe capitalize on something like that. Paul also talked about the spamming. There's been a lot of spam resources. I have reported a few myself. They are getting less and less, and they're getting better about it and getting them off faster. This is something, when you have a marketplace that is user driven, is going to happen. One of my suggestions, I've never talked to Paul. I'd like to talk to Paul about TPT, is that something Etsy does, and that is they actually charge you a listing fee. It's 15 cents, I believe. And if they did that with TPT and then they removed the 15 cents, so when you make a product under $3, there's a 15-cent user fee or charge or whatever it's called. I think put that at the front. Put that, in order for me to upload my product, charge me 15 cents and then get rid of that 15-cent charge, because it will make me think twice whether that product I'm putting up is of value enough to upload it, right? If I think this is if I've copied someone else's and I've just thrown it up, if I have to now pay, I might think twice about doing that. As well as some of these spam accounts. If they keep uploading knowing that they're getting charged, they might stop. So anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Let me know down below in the comments if you would pay 15 cents uploading fee on every resource that you uploaded. Just curious. He said there's always more to do, and absolutely. When you're working on a marketplace, even a website, there's always more to do. Karen came on and talked about the new seller blog. I've already shared that with you. They talked about drafting and scheduling note to followers. I've already shared that. Updating throw a sale, that was shared. And the TPT sideway sale is happening right now as I'm filming. And I didn't have to, manually turn mine on because I used that little automatic switch and it worked absolutely fine. They've also talked about having higher resolution for thumbnails and covers. We talked about that in another video. And then they talked about taxes. So this applies to US sellers only. So it is before the fees. If you made $600 between December 1st, 2022 and November 30th, 2023, you will receive a 1099K, and it will be appearing in your Hyper wallet January 30th, 2024, okay? If you are not sure, and this is your first year about doing taxes, it does not hurt to ask. Even though I'm Canadian, I still have to file with the IRS, not for my TPT income, but for my YouTube income. My TPT income can be converted to Canadian, and then I can claim it that way. I've actually talked to two tax consultants over the last couple of years, and so I use TurboTax. I think it's American as well. I don't know who owns it, but they I pay extra $50 and I get someone to look at all my US earnings, and that has just kind of eased my mind that I'm doing it right. And it pays to get an expert to look at your stuff. So just a little plug for getting a tax consultant to look. They talked about the upcoming TPT conference, which is in July in San Diego. I would love to go. I can't fly yet. I'm still grounded. I'll have to see how much the train would cost. That might be an idea. Cassie Noack, who I love, she is a TPT seller and she's really good with organization. I think she's doing it tomorrow, but I would register and then get the replay. And I'm sure she's talking about organization. They introduced the new seller advisory board. So they usually nominate 12 teacher sellers every year to, again, be part of a board to represent sellers. And they meet a couple times, I'd say 5-6 times a year. I'm not totally sure. Is they're looking to expand the TPT milestones. Currently, TPT has 3 milestones, 20,000, 75,000, and 500,000. And they are going to expand those, whether that means more, whether that means lower, I don't know what that means. There's a big one between 75 and 500. Maybe they're going to put 100,000 or 200,000, 50, I don't know. But they are going to add to that. They also talked about the TPT site-wide sale, which is again happening right now. If you are a new seller, try not to have big expectations. If you make no sales, that's okay. Some people go into sales with things that are already on their wish list and they just buy those and then they're out of there. That's something I do. Even as a teacher buyer, I wish list some things, including clip art, and then I go in, I buy, and I'm out. And I don't spend time looking. So if you don't make any sales, do not worry. You're in good company. Tell me your thoughts about the town hall meeting. If you watched it, was there anything that stuck out to you? Was there anything you were happy that Paul talked about or not happy that Paul talked about? I'd love to hear what you thought. But overall, I thought it was great. Next video is going to be on what's trending on TPT. If you have not visited the TPT seller blog, they have told you what's trending for the next 2 months. And so we're going to look at that and how to utilize that for your store. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you and your family are staying safe, being healthy, and we'll catch you in that video or the playlist. See ya.